You're listening to The Best of Investing. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-host, Ed Diaz of Movement Mortgage. Yeah, the fans go crazy. Mark Hunt is off today, but I've got a deal of the week that he sent me that I'll get into a little later. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. You're going to use that number to answer the trivia question for a 5-pack tanning certificate given away during this show. And those certificates are not sponsored by the radio station, but by Tan Bella Tanning Salon with 2 locations in San Francisco and 1 in Marin. Today's trivia theme is random trivia. So, Ed, couple things. One, could you remind us what's going on with Fannie going to 50% debt to income? Explain what that means.
Can you believe it? I mean, look, this is really historic. I mean, it seems like it's no big deal. In the past, before August 1st, if you were to go get a Fannie Mae loan, then the maximum allowed debt to income ratio would be 45%.
Was it like 34%?
At one point,
okay.
Yes. Moved it up to 45, and now they've moved it to 50. Now you would think, well, 5%, not a big deal. You'd be shocked to see how many people come above the 45%. Like, I will get 46 and 47 all day long, and then they just don't qualify. That extra 1 to 2%. So 50 is a very big deal, particularly with self-employed.
Okay, so a couple things. One, that's making it easier for people to qualify for a loan. All right. And then for people, let's say, who are self-employed, what kind of proof are they going to be required to show? Because a lot of times, in the old days, what would happen is they'd show their banker one number and they'd show the IRS a different number. Can't do that so much anymore.
Not so much. Well, they're going to have to show tax returns, right? And even though coming to a theater near you, we are going to have what's called a bank statement program. And there are some out there already where they will actually do cash flow analysis of your bank deposits as opposed to your tax returns.
Now, I know that sometimes they still ask, so what's this $650 deposit for?
Yeah, they always, that's called sourcing. Anytime you have, every underwriter is going to look at your bank statements and all the transaction history, and they're going to look at to see what your patterns are. So, for example, let's say, you work for ABC Company and you deposit $5,000 every 2 weeks. Okay. Well, they see that, right? And then all of a sudden they see, oh, here's a $15,000 deposit. Where'd that come from? They're going to want to see documentation. Here's why. Okay. Believe it or not, the number one money laundering tool is real estate in the United States right now.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
There's some trivia for you.
Yeah,
I think I came ready, huh?
And how does that work? Because they, typically you go through an escrow company and everything is, I mean, how is that working?
So dirty money buys house.
Okay.
They refinance, turns into clean money. They pull the money out. We have a little thing called delayed financing in the mortgage industry, which very few people talk about, by the way, which is, I'm glad I brought this up. This is a little mini topic. So delayed financing says, okay, you used all cash to purchase the property because you wanted to get your offer accepted. As long as it's all your money, you can refinance and pull cash out between the moment you consummated the purchase and 6 months. Because without delayed financing, you have to wait 6 months before you can pull the cash out. But with delayed financing, as long as you show with the final HUD or the settlement statement from title that you bought it all cash, you can pull the money out within 6 months.
Seems only fair.
Yes.
So finally, there's something fair out there.
Right. Little caveat, if part of that money was down payment money, you cannot pull out. You cannot pull out gift money. Sorry.
Gift money.
Yeah, gift money. So if your parents gave you $200,000, well, you can't pull that money out. Only your funds can be taken out in delayed financing.
And how would you prove one versus the other?
Because they're going to source the money in the account where it came from. And they're going to want documentation.
Gotcha. And it'll show mom and dad, love you.
Yeah. They either
Happy
wired
birthday.
it to title, which title will know, or they deposit it into your account. And it's going to show.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. When we come back from a break, you're going to explain something about this 3% program, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ready.
Yeah. People are going to be excited to hear that, so you're not going to touch that dial. All right, so here is our first random trivia question. What chemical compound causes pain in muscles after exercise? That's kind of a weird question. When you hear the answer, you go, oh, that's what they're talking about. It's So that's our question: is what chemical compound causes pain in muscles after exercise? Call 888-912-1190. If you're the first caller with the correct answer, you're going to win that 5-pack tanning certificate. And Bella, with 2 locations in San Francisco and 1 in Marin, which, by the way, those tanning certificates are worth quite a lot because you can use it for any of the services. One of the services is to get rid of wrinkles.
Oh, see, now I'm in the game.
Yeah, so you already got the tan. But
Yeah, I
you
don't need the tanning part, but now that I can redeem it for anti-wrinkle, I'm in.
Where's the wrinkles? I don't see any.
See, okay, I got to cut you a check. I get it.
All right, so again, that's our question is what chemical compound causes pain in muscles after exercise? Again, if you're the first caller with the correct answer, you're going to get that 5-pack tanning certificate. 888-912-1190. Don't touch that dial. The best of investing. I'll be right back. All right.
So what's the chemical compound for lactic acid?
That's it. That's the answer.
Oh, but I thought you wanted the molecules.
No. It's what chemical compound causes pain in muscles.
Okay.
And then that's the lactic acid. Is the answer we were looking for. Very good. All right, let me save this, and then I've got to print out something. Print something out here. 19. Let me see what this is. You know, it's you see your networking group. It's a little bit better than some of these other ones that you know.
Oh yeah, especially you should have seen us at the Lodge at Tiburon networking because the key is that when we go networking, we introduce each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Instead of do our 30-second
Yeah.
spiel. It just it's a lot more impactful because then it sounds like a testimonial as opposed to me talking about me.
Yeah.
When you talk about me, it sounds like a testimonial, or I talk about you. It was great. I got 7 appointments out of that networking event right there. It was insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're the one who put it on.
No, not that one. I'm talking about one of the pillars of the group is to go to networking events together, and we introduce each other to the other person. So, for example, I'll meet you there and I go, so what do you do, Edward? And you'll say, well, you know, I run this radio show and I got this. Oh, okay. You know, who are your good or best referral partners? Oh, is that right? Well, let me introduce you to Tom. He's actually here. Hey, Tom, come here. Let me introduce you to Edward.
Oh.
Now, Tom does this, this, and this, right? That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
And Edward, just met him, does this. You guys want coffee? I'm going to go get coffee. Then I leave. Excuse myself. And I go do it again.
But how did you know about the Tiburon one?
Oh, because I'm part of LinkedIn Marin, and they were putting it on.
Gotcha.
So what I do is I post it on our meetup for the group.
Yeah.
And I say, okay, so make sure you let us know who's going. I look at the roster. When I get there, I'm texting everybody, you here? Right? And then we go and work the crowd together. That changes everything.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that. No, I was just thinking the ones that, you know, when meeting some of the people, you know, they were a little bit better than the average networking group.
Yeah.
You know? Some of these ones go to you go, oh,
gosh, yeah, what's this? Yeah.
Sometimes like I almost feel embarrassed to go there sometimes. You know? So answer the question. Answer the question. I got a little announcement, and then we'll go into your 3%. How's that? Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Again, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with my co-host Ed Diaz of Movement Mortgage. First trivia question was, what chemical compound causes pain in muscles after exercise? And Ed, after thinking about this for a while, you got it. What's the answer?
Lactic acid.
Lactic acid. That is correct. Very good. All right. So we want to make a mention here. Forget this. The Renaissance Indian Wells is a desert oasis for family travel or a quick weekend getaway in the Coachella Valley. The perfect place to recharge. It features 5 restaurants, a rejuvenating spa with an array of relaxing treatments. In addition to health and wellness classes, you can play golf, tennis, or enjoy one of the many hiking trails the area has to offer. Taking care of their little guests is a top priority, offering a kids program along with a family-friendly pool featuring the only sandy beach in the valley. Non-stop flights are available from SFO to Palm Springs, so book your Renaissance Indian Wells Oasis getaway today. Call 760-773-4444 or go to Marriott.com and check out Renaissance Indian Wells Resort and Spa in Indian Wells, California for some great deals. All right, so Ed, before we went on a trivia break, commercial break, we said you were going to talk something about this 3% deal you got going on.
Yeah, so I was reading this article by CNBC dated on the 14th of August, and they were saying the headline was, "Homebuyers put less and less skin in the game, adding to the market's overall risk." An interesting fact, and this is how this ties in, says that in the past 12 months, 1.5 million borrowers bought their homes with down payments of less than 10%, making a 7-year high. So what we did at Movement Mortgage, because we realized that not everybody has all this money for down payment, is that we came out with a 3% grant, which essentially is a gift.
Okay, because the FHA you can buy with 3% down, right?
Yeah, 3.5%.
3.5% down.
That's correct. So
Okay.
we have this program that will go all the way up out here because, you know, they're pricier areas.
Yeah,
we can go all the way up to 636,150, and we will give you the 3%.
Okay, so walk me through a transaction.
Yeah, so transaction, let's say 500,000, let's just say for the sake of conversation, right? They want to put the 3%, which is 15 grand, we're going to give them that. Now, here's the caveat. The client or the borrowers have to, their income has to be within the area median income. So they still have to pass that litmus test with the income.
Okay.
But as long as they qualify, meaning they're at or below the area median income, they'll qualify for the 3% because it's a grant.
At or below. Oh, that's why it's a grant, because at or below. If they make too much money, then
they get kicked out.
Okay.
Correct.
Which means they just have to put down the 3%, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you give them the 3% as a grant, or who gives them actually that money?
We actually are the ones giving the money.
But how do you get it back?
Well, tax write-offs and things, right? But it's goodwill. Yeah.
It's expensive.
It's expensive. But we also know that we're going to make it up with volume, and we also know that we're going to make it up with other referrals and more business. That isn't 3%, because let's be honest, in San Francisco, for example, where I live, right, that's not going to go far.
Yeah, exactly. So really, someone gets to come in with no money down on that.
That's correct.
Okay, and how many people qualify for something like that?
You know, I haven't done the metrics, but it's, if you look at it from a pie of 100%, maybe 10 out here, right? But that's extra people that don't, right? That otherwise would be renting. Now all of a sudden they can become home buyers.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be more conducive in what areas? Well, Sacramento, right? Solano County. Not so much in San Francisco or even Marin. Yes. Yeah. Because of the max.
Yeah, because it's just too hard to find a house less than $1 million. Yeah. Nowadays.
In the immediate Bay Area. That's correct.
Wow, that's a pretty good. Okay, before we forget, give out your information.
Yeah. Call me on my cell, 415-302-7613, or email me, ed.diaz with a Z at movement.com.
Okay, and I want to get into this email question we received. It says, does buying down a loan make sense, and can one still do that in today's market? You may have to explain, first of all, what is buying down a loan?
So I think what it is, it's probably buying down the rate.
Probably.
Interest
I'm
rate
sure
is what
I
I'm
mean.
thinking.
Yeah.
So let's assume that that's the case. Typically, when we are in a very high interest rate market, it's more conducive to buy down the rate.
Yeah.
Also, the longer you're going to keep the property in that mortgage, the more it makes sense because you have to recapture
Sure.
the amount of money that it's going to take for you to buy down the rate. So we in the mortgage business talk about fees in points. That's the vernacular that we use. So 1 point is equal to 1% of the loan amount. So let's just say, for example, that I quote you